We construct a comforting fiction about the universe. We look upward at the night sky and see stillness, a vast, silent canvas decorated with light. We tell ourselves it is beautiful, peaceful, remote, safe. But the moment you cross the boundary of Earth's atmosphere, that fiction disintegrates completely. Beyond this thin shell of air, space is not a cathedral of wonder. It is an execution ground, a place where worlds are incinerated, crushed, poisoned, frozen, and irradiated across billions of years without pause, without mercy, and without exception. And the deeper you travel into our own solar system, the more brutal the truth becomes. Our journey begins closest to the Sun, Mercury, a scorched, silent world locked in a gravitational stranglehold so powerful it can never escape. Stand on its surface, and the Sun doesn't look like a distant star. It looms enormous, more than 3 times larger than it appears from Earth, a wall of nuclear fire suspended in a sky that never turns blue. Daytime temperatures climb past 430 degrees Celsius, hot enough to liquefy lead, hot enough to reduce most metals to vapor. But Mercury's torment operates in 2 directions. Because it possesses almost no atmosphere to retain that heat, the moment the Sun disappears, the warmth vanishes instantly. Temperatures collapse to nearly minus 180 degrees Celsius. No gradual cooling, no transition, just an endless oscillation between incineration and absolute cold. Mercury is a world condemned to suffer the extremes of both simultaneously, escaping neither, surviving only because survival and suffering are, out here, the same thing. If Mercury is suffering, Venus is annihilation. From orbit, it almost resembles Earth. Similar dimensions, similar gravitational pull, similar interior structure. This resemblance is among the most dangerous illusions in the solar system. Descend through Venus's atmosphere, and the deception immediately begins to fracture. The clouds are sulfuric acid. The atmospheric pressure at the surface would collapse the human body in seconds, equivalent to diving nearly a kilometer beneath the ocean. And the temperature. Surface temperatures on Venus approach 465 degrees Celsius, hotter than Mercury, despite being further from the Sun. Because Venus's dense atmosphere functions as a planetary prison, trapping every fragment of solar heat until the entire world became a self-sustaining furnace. No oceans remain, no rivers, no wind, carrying anything but poison. Venus is what happens when a planet's own atmosphere becomes the instrument of its destruction. And it has been burning, silently and completely, for billions of years. And then, suspended in the darkness between these furnaces and the cold void beyond, there is Earth, a fragile anomaly, an accident of geology, chemistry, and orbital mechanics that produced something the rest of the solar system appears incapable of producing. Conditions where liquid water persists, where an atmosphere breathes, where life not only emerged, but flourished into complexity. From space, the layer of air protecting every ocean, every forest, every city, every human life appears almost invisible. A translucent film wrapped around rock, everything humanity has ever built, every person who has ever lived, every thought ever recorded. All of it exists beneath that paper-thin membrane. One significant disruption and the void reclaims everything without hesitation. Beside Earth drifts the Moon, ancient, scarred, wordless. Its surface is a preserved archive of violence, cratered by billions of years of bombardment during an era when the inner solar system was a collision field. The Moon is not merely a companion. It is a record of what Earth endured and somehow survived. Beyond Earth, the solar system begins revealing what it actually is. Mars, the planet humanity dreams of inhabiting, is not a destination. It is a warning. Billions of years ago, Mars may have been genuinely alive. Rivers carved channels across its surface. Oceans likely covered vast regions of the northern hemisphere. Then something essential failed. The planet's molten core solidified. Its magnetic field, the invisible shield protecting its atmosphere from solar radiation, collapsed. Slowly, methodically, the Sun tore Mars's atmosphere away into space, particle by particle, until almost nothing remained. What exists today is a frozen, irradiated desert, dust storms that consume entire continents, radiation levels that would prove lethal to unprotected humans within months. A volcano, Olympus Mons, rising nearly 3 times higher than Everest above a landscape that hasn't seen liquid water in billions of years. Mars is not just a dead planet. It is a detailed portrait of planetary extinction, preserved in rust-colored silence. Between Mars and Jupiter drifts the asteroid belt, fragments from the solar system's violent formation, shattered remnants of worlds that never completed their construction. Some are small enough to fit inside a city. Others stretch hundreds of kilometers across. They orbit in cold silence, ancient debris from a beginning so violent that certain worlds were broken before they ever became whole. And beyond this field of ruins waits Jupiter, the largest planet in the solar system. More than 1,300 Earths could fit inside it, and the giant would register no meaningful difference. There is no surface here, no ground, no landing point, only cloud layers descending endlessly into crushing darkness where gravity compresses matter so intensely that hydrogen transforms into liquid metal. Above this abyss, storms larger than entire planets have churned for centuries without weakening. The Great Red Spot, a cyclone wider than Earth itself, has been rotating continuously for at least 350 years. Jupiter does not feel like a planet. It feels like something older than planets. A primordial force that assembled itself from the raw violence of the early solar system and has been consolidating power ever since. From a distance, Saturn appears almost tranquil, a golden world encircled by luminous rings. This impression is a trap. Those rings are not elegant solid structures. They are trillions of fragments of ice and rock, some microscopic, some the size of houses, all orbiting at velocities exceeding tens of thousands of kilometers per hour. A debris field of staggering scale, circling the planet continuously. Beneath the clouds, lightning storms discharge energies thousands of times more powerful than anything Earth's atmosphere produces. And at Saturn's North Pole, a perfect hexagonal storm, 6 straight sides, 6 precise angles, rotates permanently through the atmosphere. Scientists have studied it for decades. Nobody can fully explain why it exists. Further outward, sunlight weakens. Distances expand beyond intuitive comprehension. And in this deepening cold drifts Uranus, a planet so thoroughly catastrophized by some ancient collision that it now rotates on its side, rolling through space, nearly horizontally. For decades at a time, entire hemispheres of the planet remain submerged in total darkness. Beneath its pale atmosphere lies an ocean of water, ammonia, and methane under pressure so extreme that carbon may precipitate downward as diamonds through the interior. Its rings are narrow, dark, and almost invisible. Its moon Miranda bears cliffs 20 kilometers tall, the highest known in the solar system, carved into a landscape that looks like it was shattered and reassembled incorrectly. Uranus is not merely strange. It is a world that was fundamentally broken by the violence of its past and has been drifting through space ever since, carrying the damage. And finally, Neptune. At this distance, the Sun delivers less than 1,000th of the light it provides to Earth. The world should be still, frozen into silence. Instead, Neptune's atmosphere erupts, with winds exceeding 2,100 kilometers per hour, the fastest ever measured on any planet in the solar system. Storms of frozen methane churn through an atmosphere illuminated by barely any sunlight at all. Neptune exists at the boundary between the solar system and interstellar space, perpetually storming, perpetually dark, perpetually cold. A planet that seems to generate its own fury from somewhere deep inside itself. Beyond Neptune, the solar system dissolves into the Kuiper Belt, a vast frozen archive of dwarf planets and ancient ice. Pluto, Eris, Haumea, Makemake, worlds so remote that sunlight arrives fainter than moonlight reaches Earth. Entire landscapes have remained frozen beneath layers of ancient ice for billions of years. No warmth will reach them. No change will come for them. They drift in permanent silence at the edge of everything, remnants of a formation so violent that some objects were flung to the outermost reaches of the solar system and simply never returned. Beyond them, nothing, only the interstellar void, a darkness stretching across distances the human mind cannot genuinely process. We are small creatures. We live on a thin layer of air, wrapped around a rock that orbits an unremarkable star in an ordinary galaxy among hundreds of billions. Every other world we have examined is hostile, some lethally, some subtly, all definitively. And yet here, on this particular rock, beneath this particular membrane of atmosphere, something extraordinary persists. Life, complexity, consciousness, the ability to look outward at a solar system designed to destroy us and understand, at least partially, what we are seeing. Earth still breathes. For now,